Hello, everybody. My name is Miguel Fenrick, and I'm here today with Sask Music as they celebrate Black History Month 2026. And we're going to be chatting with some of Saskatoon's most exciting Black musicians. Today, we're chatting with Kacia Whilby Boama. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have a little chat here about your music. You call yourself a singer and a cultural enthusiast. What does that mean to you?
Well, a cultural enthusiast is just someone who is passionate about, different backgrounds. Where are you from? Tell us your story. And so for me, I'm Jamaican, but I've learned so much about our African ancestry. And so I'm just really grateful to one, have that, but to also learn about how similar we are. That really makes me feel awesome. And I'm just someone who loves to meet new people and see what we have in common.
Oh, amazing. And why do you care about that? Like, what about those differences in who we are as people is interesting to you?
It's a story. We like to think we don't know much about each other. And so because of that, communication gets so strained. But if we spend some time to get to know each other, we'd be surprised to know how much we share and how much we can teach each other. And so that's why it's important to me to know about people's different stories.
Yeah.
So we can keep building together, because together we do much better.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, like storytelling is important. I'm
Yes.
I'm biased, but because I'm also a storyteller. But you've also said before that you've been actively involved in the performing arts from a tender age, whether that's cabaret and choir singer, worship leader. When did you realize, though, in your youth, that music was something that was calling to you?
Pretty early, and that's because of my mom. I've always been asked to do something on behalf of the church. And at first I used to get a little annoyed because I'm like, can't you ask the other kids? But what stood out to me was the feedback and the support from the community. And I'm like, if they believe in me, why don't I believe in myself? And so it's from that time going into high school that I said, okay, I can do this. But I never imagined me doing what I'm doing now, which is singing more on a larger stage.
And what is the first memory that you have of music? You said that it was your mother and in church as well. But like, if you close your eyes and think about it, when was the first time that you heard music, engaged with music in that way?
I think I'd go back to my days of watching cartoons. I love musicals, especially. Yes. I'm a Disney girly, and I can sing all those songs from Lion King and The Little Mermaid, the first one. So just for those early memories of watching those cartoons and just dancing and feeling great about myself.
Yeah. You've said before that you pledge to, quote, use your platform in music to spread the message of one love and encourage those who dare to dream. What is one love? I'm unfamiliar.
Well, one love, first of all, is a borrowed quote from Bob Marley, as you know, reggae icon. And what it is essentially is just the message of peace and unity, and just what music can do to bring people together. And that is what reggae is. The essence of reggae is love and unity and resilience as well. So that's why I want to borrow from what they've done to do my part in bringing people together. And whenever I perform and I see people dancing together or singing the songs, I feel like I've done my 1%, and I just want to continue using my platform to do that.
And why is togetherness and love and community, why is it important?
Well, at a time like today, where there is so much hate, there's so much hurt in the world, why not? Why not something that allows people to press pause on what's going on and to just use the moment to feel good about themselves and just for a moment pretend as though things aren't so bad. But in the same breath, the music itself also teaches you to think about your brother, be your brother's keeper. So it's not just to pretend that nothing is happening in the world, but just to take a moment to breathe and feel good about yourself amidst the noise.
And amidst all that noise, then inadvertently your music becomes like a powerful tool, right?
Yes, I don't know if I'm there yet, but I feel like I've done my 1%, and
Yeah.
who knows what the future has in store for me.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit, take a step back just for a second, about those Caribbean roots. You know,
Yes.
you're talking about music that radiates joy and warmth and rhythm, amazing things, which, like you said, we need in the world. What was it like for you to grow up surrounded by such positive energy then?
Uh, I feel so blessed to, first of all, be a Jamaican. But I feel so special to know that I share my Caribbean roots with others. I can only speak about growing up in Jamaica and how, I didn't grow up around oppression. I grew up in the rural parts, specifically in Falmouth, Trelawney. Small community, went to a rural school, and we all looked out for each other. And I can't picture a life where I didn't have that for myself. That was my foundation. And so from then I grew up with people looking out for me and me looking out for them, and us just having manners, good manners. And that's where I really learned to have confidence. Even though have you met Jamaicans? We are very, very confident people, and I'm just so pleased that that was my foundation, because if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't go in the direction that I have, and then I wouldn't be this confident person I'm trying to be today.
And you moved to Saskatchewan in 2019, was it?
I did.
To pursue a degree. How did you find that transition from that space in Jamaica then here to Saskatchewan?
First of all, moving to Saskatchewan was such an impulsive move on my part. I Google searched the university and I applied on the spot after I saw what I did. But the transition, as you can imagine, was a shocker for me. I'm coming from this small, close-knit community to a place where I don't even know my neighbors. And I certainly did not expect that when I got here that I would have met the different persons that I did. There are so many nations here. So that in a sense really made me feel like I can do this. There are so many other persons from other countries. If they can do it, I can do it too. And so I looked beyond the very warm weather here and I leaned into the community that I got to know and that really embraced me. And so it should have been harder, but it wasn't, because I got a lot of love and support from people who genuinely wanted to see me do well.
How does it feel to have, in a way, like you said, it was impulsive to come to Saskatchewan. Yeah. How does it feel then to maybe have stumbled into such a warm community that is so important to you, it seems?
It feels great. I'm a Christian, and I can't help but think of how powerful it is to have faith. That was my testimony, that I can, lean into the unknown because I have faith that things will go well, because I believe. And so when I came here and saw that I trusted myself and I never allowed fear to interrupt, and then things went well for myself, I said, yep. Thank you, God. Thank you. And I didn't keep it to myself. I tried to tell other folks about what I did, and I feel, a bit onto what I was saying. And I'm willing to share with anyone who wants to hear really about how they can, do something similar if they're willing.
That's wonderful. And you've had this great opportunity to bring a piece of Jamaica really with you to Saskatchewan.
Yes.
How have audiences here responded to your message compared to back at home in Jamaica?
Oh, that's a good question. So luckily there are some Jamaicans here and a large African group here that knew some of the reggae songs that I had. That was my first concern. Like, the songs that I like to sing, do they know them? And I got up there and they were singing them word for word, which shows you the power of music. It transcends borders and brings people together. And so I was happy with how they responded, and I even tried to give in to the other cultural groups that are here too, and I learned a few Afrobeats, and I sang those as well. I will always lean more on gospel because that's where I started. That's where I feel most confident too. So I found that mixing it up and appealing to different audiences works. And not just being on this one note because I'm Jamaican. Definitely made the audience, like my music.
Yeah. And do you have any performances that really stand out to you in your memory?
My favorite performance to date would have to be at the Black History Month event that is held annually by BPES. I don't want to, it's Black Professionals and Entrepreneurs. I may have gotten that a little wrong, but they have an annual Black History Month concert, great platform. And I sang the Negro anthem there, and I just found that it was just a very profound performance. The audience really loved it, and I felt good in myself that I could sing it the way I did. And yeah, it's a staple now for me.
When you say profound, what do you mean by that?
So firstly, not a lot of folks know that we even have an anthem per se, and there are more than one. But the words of the song, it's really uplifting and just encouraging people of color to stand proud in who you are, and I think just the way in which I delivered, which was, calm but clear and direct, there was this kind of stillness in the room, hitting the notes and just watching people feel like, I'm talking to them. So that's what I mean by profound. It was well received and people felt like, I was talking to them.
Yeah, and you're right. Like there's that moment of hush, maybe, right? When it's like
reverence. That's what the word I was looking for. Because it is a hymn, and so just the reverence, the stillness that that song provides, I was able to provide that in that setting, and it felt good.
What is one of your first performances when you came to Saskatchewan?
My first performance was actually with, it was at the downtown library, and they were having another Black History Month event. And I went there, and my friend from Kenya, she put all kind of designs on my face. I felt really, there. And I got up there and I sang a mixture of reggae and Afrobeats, and the audience loved it. That made me feel like, I can do this.
Oh, that's amazing. And what about, do you write songs?
I don't, but it's coming. It's coming. I definitely plan to. I just had a baby, and I feel a lot of inspiration to write more of, especially, songs that when he grows up, can say, "Mommy did that," and it's empowering, it's uplifting, and yeah, I feel motivated to get started.
And tell me about some of the songs you perform. You mentioned, of course, like you've been doing some Afrobeats and expanding it a little bit, but like, what are some of your favorites that you perform?
So I am an old soul, so I love to dabble in the earlier R&B, genre, gospel, the neo soul, and reggae, of course. I actually did some classics, but that was with chorale, when I was a part of a chorale group. But mostly that's what I find myself singing: reggae, R&B, and gospel.
And I'm curious because I'm just a little curious. Tell me, if you were to look back to when you were a young performer and musician singing the gospel at your church, did that young musician know that you would be here performing on stages like now? I
think no. If she didn't know that she would take this on, because I'm an academic now. And I've always seen myself doing more public speaking, as opposed to going on stage to sing. I was like, where would I find the time? So back then, it was, if you ask me, then of course I'd be willing, especially if it's my mom, who's very convincing. Yeah, but I never thought that I would be on larger stages. I definitely did not think I'd be recognized as a musician of some sort or artist of some sort. But I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
It really it really helps me to know that I can push my limits, and I really hope there are other persons out there who feel like they have a lot on their plate. New moms, I'm talking to you. If you have your passion, follow it. You'd be surprised to know how much your little one or little ones will encourage you or make you find that willpower to do something outside of your comfort zone.
We have to acknowledge as well that it's Black History Month this month, right? Which is what these interviews are for in a way. Visibility is obviously incredibly important in that. What would you say maybe to the people who might look up to you as someone who is doing very amazing things?
I hope they look at me and see someone who is willing to try. It's not that it's easy, but you have to, one, believe in yourself. I am believing in myself, and I'm accepting that it won't be easy, but there are people out there who can support you in your own home, in your own community, and right here in Saskatchewan, in Saskatchewan, who are willing to help you. So look at me, I'm someone who is trying. You can do it too. And there's so many other persons out there who are doing exceptional things. People of color, Black people are doing great things. Be inspired and become the best version of yourself. It's 2026. What are we waiting for? Yeah.
You say like that it's been a process for you in a way to like believe in yourself. How have you grown over the course of your performing career, do you think?
I'm learning that I've found my voice. At first, when I started singing, I used to try and copy the singer. And I'd be like, okay, I can sing this way and sound as close to that person as possible. But the more I perform, the more I recognize that I do have a sound. People like that, and that I can lean into it more. And it just makes me feel a lot more, empowered. I feel like I belong. And so that's one area of my life that has really improved, just finding my voice. And I'm sure you can do it too if you're interested in doing music.
Yeah, you've touched on something which is your faith. How important has that been for your process as you've come into your own voice?
Very important. God is everything in my life, and so I can't do anything without direction. And so I lean a lot on my faith for guidance. I lean a lot on my church community for support. And so I've received both. And as long as I am authentic and I just stay true to who I am and I continue to spread love, then I'm doing what I should be doing. So faith is very important to me. It guides me and it encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing.
And what's next, do you think?
Okay, what's next for me is to push myself as a songwriter. That's new territory for me, and to just try and take up more space. I have not done like some of the jazz fest here. I haven't done jazz fest here. I haven't done some concerts outside of Saskatchewan. So who knows? I'm just trying to push myself a little bit more, do some more collaborations, and we'll see.
Why is it important for you to take up some more space?
It's important for me to take up space and people of color to take up space because representation matters. If we're not doing, things, then no one will know that we can do it. So we need to take up space so that people can acknowledge that we are a lot more than, what the negative things that are pushed or portrayed about people of color in the media. We are powerful people, and we should push ourselves out there, put ourselves out there to let people know who we are. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Maybe there's something I missed in there, but in our last closing couple of minutes here, what would be any final message, any final comments to the people that will be watching?
Well, Black History Month is a time for us to reflect, but it's also a time for us to be very grateful. So many people before us have done tremendous things. You know, be encouraged, spread the word, make Black History Month an everyday thing. You know, feel good about yourself all the time, and let others know about you. Don't be afraid. Don't be boxed in for nothing at all. Look at me. I'm doing academia. I'm working full time. I'm a mom, and I'm doing music. You know, you can do it too. Don't be afraid to ask for help. A lot of us struggle with that.
Yeah.
Lean into the organizations that are out there. There are people out there, there are entities out there with support groups. Lean into it, ask questions, and continue to become the best versions of yourselves. You can do it. And I'm so, so happy that I am Black, and happy Black History Month.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. We're joined here today with Kacia as Sask Music celebrates Black History Month 2026 with conversations with some exceptional Saskatchewan musicians to learn a little bit more about the type of support that Sask Music offers across the province. You can learn about it on their website at www.saskmusic.org. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.